morning, guys. It is the 13th day of December, 13th day of my Vlogmas. I have a day off today, so I wanted to get a bit of sewing done. I've had a good morning so far. I had to thank past Teresa. She was very good to me. Made a load of pancakes, the banana pancakes that I froze, and I was able to defrost and heat some up for breakfast this morning, which was very delicious and always a big treat when you don't have to actually do the whole work on the day. So I was very grateful for that. And I also spent some time cutting out my husband's hoodie. This fabric, I know from when I made my own. This stuff sheds like a beast. It's ridiculous, all these bits coming off. I probably made a bad choice wearing corduroy when I was cutting out because corduroy stuff kind of sticks to it, but I cleared it all up. It's all good. But what I do want to do as a priority is just serge the edges of this, because I remember from when I made mine, once you serge the edges, you're basically fine. It's not going to keep on shedding. So I want to do that first. I do also want to work on the bowl cozies that I have left today, so I want to get a little bit of work done on those. I do have some other ideas of things I might get up to, but I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself to do anything and take it as it comes. I wanted to give you an update on my sock. So this sock has become, I guess, like basically, as far as I'm concerned, the finger of a glove is what it is. It occurred to me how similar that is to gloves. But yeah, so this is the body and toe of a sock, and I still need to make the heel. So it's called the afterthought heel, completely new technique to me. So I'm hoping I can manage to work it out. But basically you end up putting your knitting needles back into what you've knitted, trimming the yarn, and then building the heel outward. It sounds kind of crazy. I feel like so much in knitting, I just can't get my head around how it works, but I just trust and follow the instructions and it tends to work. So we'll see how that goes. I wanted to get on and do my advent calendars though. So I'm going to start off with Fabric Godmother, 13th up here. The sewing tip is take your measurements before starting each project in case of fluctuations. I've been caught out there before. I don't know about any of you guys, but yes, I have definitely not realized that I had changed a little bit in my proportions, tried to make a very fitted garment, and it didn't fit. So if it's anything that's really fitted, I will do my measurements. They don't change hugely, but they change enough when it's something that's supposed to be really fitted. So let's see what I've got. Some wonder clips, some sewing clips. I might have been expecting a tape measure, but that's all good. So it's 5 of these. These do come in handy. I have a collection and I can happily top that up. Let's see what I've got in my Kusmi tea calendar. 13th is over here. This one sounds yum. This one is called Aqua Summer. It's a peach and apricot fruit and hibiscus blend. Very much my kind of thing. I will be having that later on, probably when I'm sewing. I just wanted to mention, in order to get this to go through my serger, I've had to make the stitch length really long. I've gone as long as it will go, which is 4, and it's still really not a long stitch. It's just because the fabric is so thick. I think that's the most reasonable. I've also had to lower the differential feed down to, looks like 0.9, and that just helps to go through a bit more smoothly. I will say that I am actually physically pushing the fabric through as it's going through. So I really do recommend doing all the serging at the beginning, and then not only do you not have to worry about it later when it's multiple thicknesses, but also it takes off all the floofy edges, so that way you don't have any more floof on you when you're actually sewing. I feel like sewing this hoodie, this is, I should say, the Billie wearable blanket by DIBY Club, Do It Better Yourself Club. I'm calling it an hoodie because that's what it is, but it's not the brand, obviously. But yeah, when I sewed this the last time, I really did have a whole hassle trying to get it through my serger. Getting my settings as they are now really helps. I also had a heck of a time getting it to go through my sewing machine, so I'll show you what that's like when I get to that stage. But I feel like the process of making this and sewing it up It's a little bit like childbirth. I say this as a midwife who's spoken to lots of women who've had babies. I think a lot of women forget what childbirth is like until they get pregnant again. And I think that's just something for us to be able to continue with the human race, because if you remembered, you might not want to get pregnant again. Obviously, there's a lot of positive stuff from childbirth, so please don't think that I am anti-childbirth, anti-pain in childbirth, any of that stuff, but it is something that I feel like it all comes flooding back to women as soon as they're pregnant again. And with this hoodie, I am now starting to remember all of the pain that I went through when I made the one for myself, because when I had the finished garment, I'm just like, this is the best. I love this thing. I want to give everyone one of these to be so snuggly. And I'm slowly realizing all the pain that I'm going to go through. It will be worth it. My husband will definitely appreciate it, and I get to snuggle up with him, so bonus for me as well. I'm obviously just covered in bits from this. I'm not going to bother clearing up until it's all done. I've just got one more piece that I need to serge, and then I will be hopefully floof free for the remainder of the process. But what I do once I've serged the edges is I give it a real good shake. I'm going to see if I can show you guys. So I don't know if you'll see it, but I can tell you a lot of bits came off. So basically that just means that now all of the things that are going to shed have shedded. So I will obviously clean myself up and clean the floor up after this. But like I said, then when I'm sewing, it actually tends to be absolutely fine. So no more extra bits covering me. I just wanted to mention as well, I actually kept the original hem on the bottom, just so that way that's one less thing I need to do. Not that easy to see, but I figured that's a good hem. It works for me. It's basically just like a serged edge, but it looks like it's done in more like a yarn and it's in a longer length, but works for me. One less job that I have to do. Right, I have just had some lunch. I have put the pieces for the hoodie to one side. I really just wanted to serge them so they weren't going to be a mess, but I really need to focus now on the bowl cozies that I'm making for Christmas. This is the stack of all the ones that I have remaining that I want to give. I'm not necessarily going to finish them today. I mean, honestly, I don't think I'd have time to finish them today, but I want to just see if I can make some good progress and feel like I'm a little bit closer. So I have to say I've made some pretty good progress. I'm powering through these pretty well. I've made the X's across all the pieces, which essentially is what makes them attached to the quilt batting. And then I'm now doing the corners that give it that bowl shape. I still have quite a lot to do. I'm not going to say that I'm almost done, but I'm making progress, which I'm really happy about. I've been sitting here and watching some YouTube videos, catching up on YouTube. I have to say, one of my favorites for a long time is Marilisa Girl Meets Yarn. She does a beautiful Vlogmas. I've been watching hers for years, well before I started doing my own Vlogmas, and I really enjoy them. In a video I was just watching, I think it's day 8. I'm behind on everything for everyone's videos. I think it was day 8. She made some marshmallows, vanilla and chocolate marshmallows, and she made corn tortillas, and she knits and she sews, and she is very much my kind of woman. So I've been really enjoying watching that. It's definitely helped to keep me going. I have just made my Kusmi tea of the day, and I have to say the tea bag just smelled so amazing. The tea smells great. This is one that I've kept the tea bag because I'm pretty confident I'm gonna love it, and I'm gonna want to make another one with the tea bag, and I just need to find out, guys. Ooh. Yes, this one is absolutely a hit. It is mostly berry flavored, but you're definitely getting that peach and that apricot, and with just a little floral note. Oh, it is delicious. So I'm going to enjoy this while I carry on with my sewing. we are off to do a grocery shop, and I'm gonna take you guys along this time because I know a lot of people really enjoyed it last year, and honestly, I love seeing just like the mundane in other parts of the world particularly, so I really enjoy getting a little glimpse into small shops and supermarkets in different countries. So I will show you what we've got to offer in London in our local Sainsbury's. It's not gonna be that exciting, but hopefully a little bit of fun for you guys. Some seriously weird party snacks. Just please no. Please no. I genuinely don't even understand what that's supposed to be. Section for you. Guys, I've decided to try and make the mulled wine. That the recipe comes from Kusmi tea with the glögg tea that I have. So I'm brewing some glögg tea here that I will then strain, and then I'm going to mix that with some glögg simple syrup. So here on the stove I am multitasking. I'm making some simple syrup here, which I will then add some glögg tea to and then strain it, and that's my glögg simple syrup, which I'm going to mix together with some lemon slices, some red wine, and the glögg tea that I've made, hoping that will be delicious. I'm making an easy dinner so that way I don't have to be doing too much at the same time, so I'm just making some chicken burgers, oven chips, and some frozen corn. Let's hope it all works out. Hey guys, I'm just at the point where I'm gonna cut the yarn for my afterthought heel, and I feel like I need to show you what I've got in case it all goes wrong. So I've put my needles back in and I've picked up stitches with one row in between them. So I've picked up the right leg of each stitch, skipped a row and picked up the right leg of the row underneath. And apparently I'm going to trim one of these, pull the threads out, and then I've got a live stitch on my needles. We'll see how it goes. So I actually trimmed the row in between, and so far I've managed to pull this yarn out. There's now a hole. I'm trying to show you guys, there's now a hole here, and I still have the yarn on my needles, so I think I'm doing the right thing. So now I'm gonna put my first color, so the color that I have for my cuff and for the toe. Hopefully you can see, I know the lighting is not great. That's gonna be the color of the heel. So apparently you just treat this little gap here like you're just knitting in the round. So you just knit in the round and follow the instructions. Sounds easy enough. It was a little stressful taking the yarn off, but now that I've done it, I feel like I can do this. All right, guys, I'm off to bed, but I just wanted to report a couple of things. So first of all, the mulled wine made with the glog kusmi tea was the best mulled wine I have ever had. Genuinely, it was so delicious. I loved it. I wish I could have more of it. I only have so much of that tea, but I might need to get some to make some more next year because it was just so good. And also I had to show you guys, I finished, I can't cover up the heel, that's the whole point. I finished my tiny tree sock. So I will say it's not the neatest heel, it's not bad. It actually looks pretty good on there. Maybe it's better than I realized. I think it looked better after I gave it a good press, but this is so cute. I can't get over these tiny tree socks. Hopefully, I'm not planning to cast another one on tomorrow, but there's gonna be more, guys. It's just gonna happen. So I'm okay with it. I hope you're okay with it. But that is definitely enough for me tonight. I need to get myself to bed. It's gotten late, but it's been a fun day and I have some fun stuff planned for tomorrow. So I hope to take you along and see you there. Bye.